Hey, what's up guys? Matt here with Fix Anything Save Money. Today we're going to be showing you how to tune up this Troy-Bilt TB22 2-cycle weed whacker. So I did create a video on how to replace the carburetor in this, and I also have another video up on how to properly load the string into the head on this. So be sure to subscribe to the channel and check out those videos if you have any other questions on this. This video is just going to cover how to do a tune-up. So the tune-up you pretty much want to do every year, 2 years at max, and that is just very simple tune-up. It's just replacing the spark plug, cleaning out the air filter, and then replacing the fuel filter. So you can see here the parts that we're going to need. I like to use a larger flathead screwdriver to pry off the spark plug cap, which is right here, and then just a tiny little flathead to remove the fuel line from the fuel filter, and then our 5/8 inch deep socket to remove the spark plug. And then here we have our replacement spark plug, our replacement fuel filter, and then we just have, this is just a coat hanger that I cut, but you could use any piece of rigid wire, and what you're going to use this for is to fish out the fuel line and the fuel filter. So this is best done with an empty fuel tank. You could get away with it if you have a little bit of fuel in there, but it's best if you have an empty fuel tank. And then we're going to be filling it back up for the year with this True Fuel 40-to-1 mix. The 40-to-1 is what the Troy-Bilt 2-cycle engines take. So we're going to be filling it back up with some fresh fuel. So yeah, we'll get right into the repair. The first thing we're going to do is remove this spark plug cap, and then we're going to remove the spark plug. So like I said, I like to use a larger flathead. This spark plug cap is kind of in an awkward position where you can't really get a lot of leverage to pull it up. So I like to just pry it up. So you just pry it up like that. And you can see I have it kind of taped because the rubber part of the cap was starting to dry rot, so I just have it taped. Okay, so that's gonna expose our spark plug. Like I said, this is a 5/8 inch deep socket, and we're just going to rotate this way to loosen it. Okay, and then once you get it a little loose, you could just hand loosen the rest and remove it. Okay, so there's our old spark plug. You can see it's pretty corroded, pretty cruddy. So we're going to be replacing it with this spark plug made by a company called Hypa. And I will put a link in the description on where you could pick up the tune-up kit for this. It does include the carburetor, so you could replace the carburetor while you're at it, or you could save the carburetor if you're, if it starts running a little rough, you could replace the carburetor. It's a super affordable, super high quality kit that I highly recommend to people. Okay, so now we have our spark plug back in. So yeah, like I said, just check the link in the description where you can pick up this tune-up kit with the spark plug, fuel filter, and carburetor. And then we're just going to put our spark plug cap back on. And we're just going to push down. You should hear a tiny little click. Okay, so that just clicked into place. So now we have our fresh spark plug. And now I will show you how to access the fuel filter. And you can see here, there's a little tiny button right here, or a little, whatever you want to call it, piece of plastic that you push in this, and then this door slides out. And you could either do that with a screwdriver, a flathead pushing in on this, or you could just use your finger. And you can see how that opens. And you could see if you were going to replace the carburetor, you would take out these two bolts, take out this housing, and then the carburetor comes out, and then you just put it all back together. But like I said, I have a video on that. But the air filter is right here. So you could just wash that in some soapy water What I like to do is wash it in soapy water and then just let it air dry on a windowsill overnight, 24 hours, and then just put it back in. You could even rub some oil on it, just so that kind of helps it catch any dust and debris that comes through. And then it just goes back in just like that. Okay, so that's how you would replace the air filter. And then you just close it back up, and then that clicks into place. Now to remove the fuel filter, we just need to tip the unit up, and we're going to remove the fuel cap, and you could just take this right out. This just is like a little flexible piece that fits in there. So you could take out the cap, and this is where you would want to take your little piece of wire, coat hanger, whatever you have, and just kind of fold it over into a hook, because you could see in here that black fuel line. You want to just kind of snag it and lift your fuel line up. Let's see if I can do it while I'm filming. There we go. So then you could just take your fuel filter out, and you can see this is the one that we're going to be putting back in. It's a little bit different style, but it acts in the same way. It just filters the fuel. And then to get that, we're going to use our little flathead, and we're just going to pry this fuel line off. So usually it's just kind of on there. It's kind of suction cupped almost on there, and then once you break the seal, it usually comes right off. Let's see if we can get it now. Yep. And then to put our new one on, you just push it straight on, just like that. Okay. And then we could drop our line back in, and you could just kind of push it into the bottom of the tank. Okay. So you can see our fuel filters in there. And then we could just fold this little piece back into the tank. And then just put our cap back on. But first, actually, you know what, we will just top it off with some fresh fuel. Like I said, the Troy-Bilt takes a 40-to-1 fuel mix. You could either mix it yourself, or you could just buy this True Fuel. I'll put a link in the description on where you could pick up this too. They do sell this on Amazon, so I'll put a link on where you could buy this. And I'll just throw links on where you could buy pretty much all the tools you see. And then if you don't have anything and you want to just do this, repair, you could just pick up everything you see, tools and everything. Okay, so we'll just add the 40-to-1 mix. And then we'll just run through the starting sequence with you guys real quick. Put our cap back on. So we have fuel, new fuel filter, new air filter, new spark plug. And like I said, you want to do that. You could get away with doing it every 2 years. I recommend doing it every year just to make sure your engine's running strong, and it extends the life of your engine if you take care of this stuff on a yearly basis. But so to start, you would press your priming bulb in right here. It says to press it in 10 times to load up the carburetor. And then we would move this lever to the number 1 position, squeeze the throttle, pull our pull start, and then you would move it to position 2, pull 3 to 5 times, and it says wait 30 to 60 seconds after it's up and running. So it should start up on the 2nd setting, and you should be up and running, and then you're just pretty much letting it warm up, and then you would flick your lever over to 3 once your engine's warm, and you should be good to go. So that is how you tune up this Troy-Bilt TB22 weed whacker. If you guys have any questions at all, be sure to reach out in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Also, be sure to check the links on where you can pick up everything that you just saw in this video. And be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are curious on how to replace the carburetor, and then also how to load the string up on this trimmer. Loading the string up on this trimmer is actually more complicated than it should be, but in the video I go through it pretty thoroughly, so be sure to check that out. And yeah guys, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.